Hi guys, welcome to Learn Tech from Zero. Today we'll be covering further CCNA topic. So let's begin with today's topic, which is small office, home office, network topology architecture. If you don't know the definition of topology or architectures, what it means is in networking, topology means it's the connection between devices, how they should be connected, what are the topologies available. Like there will be I will be covering star, mesh, bus, etc. So there are other topologies that we will be covering later on, but in simple terms, topology means the connection between the network devices, and architectures is within the topology, and architecture is the actual design of a network. So in CCNA, we have two-tier, three-tier spine leaf architectures, and and then today we'll be covering small office, home office, SOHO architecture, which is just a really small network, only connected to the internet using a router, and that's the only network device. And then all other devices within the business or home environment connect directly to the router. That's what SOHO network means. So let's begin with today's topic, which is SOHO. All right, so what is SOHO network? SOHO stands for home office, small office, home office, small office, home office. It refers to small scale network typically used by a small business, a home based business. So SOHO represents a small business, typically around less than 20 employees, and then a home based office, like people working from home, or a home address registered as a business place, and they're using the home router to work. So this is what it means in general. So characteristics of SOHO network is the size. So it supports a small number of devices. It's very cheap to run. You just need a router, and so basically you just choose your internet provider ISP, and you just get a business router deal, and that's it. Complexity, it's simple configuration, because it's just all you need to do is just to get a router, turn it on, and then that's it. You can just simply connect to the router to access the internet. Devices typically all in one device. So a SOHO network device, a router, is typically all in one. It has everything built in. We will cover that later on. So yeah, just go through them. This is not a very important topic. You just need to understand what is SOHO network, and how it works. The networking aspect of the SOHO network, like how the network is designed, is very simple. It's just one simple router. All right. So typical SOHO network architecture. So the components, the modem. So the modem is something that is directly connected to your internet service provider, and your router is connected to the modem. So how it works is you access internet through modem. I'll just show you. So in the picture you can see that there is a modem, DSL modem, which is connected directly to the internet service provider. And then this connection could be a telephone cable. Right now, if you're talking about the modern network connection, so it's mostly fiber optic. So let's say this modem is directly connected to the internet service provider with a fiber optic, and your router is connected directly to the modem with whichever connection. So the router that you have at home is directly connected to a modem, and the modem is directly connected to the internet service provider. And then you have a router. So yeah, this is the router that you use to connect to the internet. And then router has those functionalities. So it's when we say it's built in, all in one, it can do routing. So it has routing a table within it. So normally it's going to have OSPF or routing protocol or something like that. So routing, you just need to know for the time being it's just routing. And then so the Soho router, what it does is it does routing. It has DHCP server within, so it will assign IP addresses to um, all the devices whichever connects to the router. So whenever you connect a new device to a router, the router itself is a DHCP server, and it will give an IP address to that new device. It translate an NAT, network address translation. It means all your private IP addresses are translated into a public IP address for communicating to the internet, the external network. And then so all the communications within different external networks, we it's done through public IP address. And when your router gets a reply back using the public IP address, it uses NAT, the network address translation, to deliver the information to the private IP addresses. So this is within the router, this functionality. And then it has firewall, so it will do basic security threats, like it will block unwanted IP addresses, and it will have ports blocked from before, etc. So it has basic firewall protection within it. It is also an access point because your router has the Wi-Fi capability. You can connect direct through wirelessly, so it is an access point as well. And it also has switch, like you can see there are three or four switches, like the ports, you can see three or four Ethernet ports. So the router at home is also a built-in switch. It has three or four switches that you can connect directly with an Ethernet cable, but we don't call it Ethernet cable. We call it like twisted pair cable. So Ethernet cable is something that everybody knows. So you know the RJ45 connector at the end, and then you can connect devices using Cat5, Cat6, Cat7 cables, directly to the switch ports. End devices, all the end devices like your desktops, laptops, IP phones, they connect. And then that's it. So ISP connection, it is directly connected to the internet service provider using a modem, and then either any of these cabling. It does IP addressing, so it has private IP addressing. You don't need to know. So everything that I've written here, it doesn't mean that you need to know everything in details for Soho network. You just need to understand the concept. So this is just extra information to make you to give you a really good understanding. So we will cover private IP addressing later on. Don't worry about it for now. So the security features, it has firewall WPA3, which is the latest Wi-Fi security, and then it also has WPA2, which is the current the normal standard Wi-Fi protection. So Wi-Fi security, this is WPA2 is the current one, and WPA3 is the modern. And then password protection, you normally need a password to connect to this Wi-Fi, like strong Wi-Fi passwords. And then you have to update the router, or it gets updates automatically. That's it. We have already explained those. That's how. So in simple, this is the simple network topology. That's the internet. There's internet service provider. There is a modem connected to the internet service provider. That's the Soho network router that is connected directly to the modem, and then you connect to the router using Wi-Fi or Cat5, Cat6, Cat7 cables using laptop, printer, PC, etc. Um, so that's it. So let's just try a few quick questions. So what does SOHO stand for in networking? It means small office, home office. This one. Which device in SOHO network usually provides routing, NAT, networks address translation, DHCP, IP addressing, and then wireless connectivity, all in one, everything? Access point, no. Access point means it's an Ethernet, basically using Cat5, Cat6, Cat7 cables is directly connected to a switch, and then this device can give you wireless internet. So access point is a different topic. It doesn't have built-in one. It just gives you wireless connection to a wired network. Switch is It's no, it's just normally switches are usually connected to the router, and then you connect to the switch, and then switch basically receives and transmits all data to the router. So it not this one. And then integrated wireless router, yes, integrated means it's all integrated within the router. So all this functionality, that's the so the SOHO network means the integrated wireless router. You need to know that SOHO means just one simple router which has everything built in within that router. Firewall is also built in within this router. So access point, switch, firewall, they are all built in within this wireless router. So that's the answer. Which IP address range is most commonly used for private addressing in SOHO networks? I haven't started explaining private IP addresses and public IP addresses and how to configure IP addresses. So don't worry about this one now, but it's going to be 192.168. It's one of the private IP address range. So which network topology is most commonly used in SOHO network? We will be covering that later on. This is not very important, but this is also not specified in the CCNA exam objectives, but you will need to know some of them are legacy, some of them are currently still in use. So the answer is going to be ring. So this is something that we will sorry, the answer is going to be star, but we will cover all of these network topology later on as well. What is the main purpose of NAT in SOHO network? Network address translation. So what it does is it converts private IP addresses to public and public to private. So to assign IP addresses also automatically, no, that's DHCP. To translate private IP addresses to a public IP addresses, yes. To store DNS records, no. To encrypt wireless data, no. It's one of the features of a router, but we are talking about NAT. So which what it does is it translates private IP to public, public to private. So that's it. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I will see you next time.